Hi, I'm Ksenia Chernaya, certified nutritionist, certified healthy lifestyle coach, and a member of Russian Dietologist and Nutrition Society. This is my health and healthy diet channel. Today, we will talk about how exactly your meals should look like and what are the best intervals between them. Watch the video till the end and find out all the answers. Like this video and leave a comment if you learned something new. Let's go! We will talk about all three meals from the scientific point of view. The most important rule that you should remember is that each meal should contain all three macronutrients: proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. What makes it different is a proportion. Let's start with breakfast. What should you eat for breakfast? Many people skip this the most important meal because they are trying to save precious time or they're just not hungry. Here is the most important rule. If you wake up and you are not hungry, your dinner was too late. The majority doesn't estimate the loss that we sustain when missing breakfast. You don't miss breakfast in any way, especially if you want to lose weight. What's the best time for breakfast? Well, it depends on your body condition and what the time you wake up. The golden rule says that we should have breakfast within 1 hour or an hour and a half after we wake up. However, make sure to drink 1 or 2 glasses of warm water on an empty stomach. After 40 to 45 minutes, you are ready to have breakfast. It's your first meal that triggers metabolic process in your body and gastrointestinal tract functions. Properly balanced breakfast is a key to your well-being throughout the day. Breakfast is a must for those who stays active and does sports. Healthy breakfast should include 3 major components: fiber, healthy fats, and proteins. You may eat as plant as well as animal protein. For example, legumes, tofu, buckwheat, eggs, fish, seafood, or byproduct. Good examples of healthy fats are unrefined oils, nuts, seeds, avocado, or ghee. Make sure to take different kinds of protein. Don't forget about vegetables and greens, as they are also a source of fiber as well as whole grains. If you have planned a workout before lunch, you should also add groats. But if you are going to spend the whole day sitting on the chair in the office, then vegetables only should be enough for you. The size of your portion for you to be full should be not smaller than your 3 feasts. What shouldn't be in your breakfast? It's all type of breakfast that you know well. Various muesli or cereals, instant porridge or farina porridge. It's important for you to understand that your breakfast shouldn't be based on carbs only and definitely not fast carbs. We also don't eat sausages and pastries for breakfast. A piece of cake with a cup of coffee is not a breakfast. What does perfect breakfast look like? It can be an omelette with coconut milk and spinach, with a bowl of vegetables and greens seasoned with olive oil and seeds. Healthy lunch is an essential meal that can improve your well-being and put you in a better mood. Your lunch should make up to 35–40% of your total calories intake. Should you miss lunch, your body enters in a saving mode and accumulates food you ate for breakfast in fat deposit. When you miss a lunch, you cannot control your calories intake for dinner, which should be half the size of your lunch. If you miss a lunch, you surely will eat too much for dinner. Usually, when we come home after work, we want to get some rest and tend to bungee eat whatever we see in our way. The best time to have lunch is not earlier than 4 hours after breakfast. If you feel hungry earlier, that means that you didn't eat enough proteins, fats, and carbs for breakfast. One of the most common types of lunch is soup, but I will get to it later. Your lunch should include proteins, complex long-acting carbohydrates, and plant-based foods as a source of fiber. But let's go back to the soup. They may come as pureed vegetable soup, but make sure not to overcook the vegetables to preserve fiber. You may also try bone broth-based soup. Take a note that it should be only bones. We don't cook meat for the broth. Make sure to keep your lunch diverse. It shouldn't be just pasta, fast food, or coffee with a bun. What does the perfect lunch look like? Well, for example, it can be chicken bone broth with vegetables and quinoa, or white fish with baked vegetables, such as pumpkin, beetroot, or zucchini. Such lunch contains all 3 major macronutrients. Fats come as a broth, amino acids or protein as a fish and a bone broth, and carbs as starchy vegetables and quinoa. Dinner is next. What should you eat? Ideally, dinner is the lightest meal of the day. It amounts up to only 25% of the total calories intake. Dinner also includes three major macronutrients: proteins, fats, and carbs, but with a more restricted calories. The proteins should be easily digestible. Take, for example, fish, seafood, koala's eggs, or as a last option, poultry. We don't eat meat for dinner. If your daily diet includes meat and fish, then take meat for lunch and fish for dinner. If you want to lose weight, then you avoid groat as a side for dinner and take just vegetables. If you are insulin resistant, then you should avoid stretchy veggies. Please note that if you experience gastrointestinal problems such as bloating, gases, or chronic disease in the acute stage, then you should always cook your vegetables for dinner, but you can eat them raw for breakfast and lunch. If you are underweight or having trouble sleeping, then you may eat stretchy veggies and groats for dinner, but always with two other macronutrients. As a fat source, you can choose unrefined oils and seeds. What foods are forbidden for everyone for dinner? As always, bread, pasta, and pastries. Perfect dinner should look like this: white fish fillet with pureed cauliflower and another veggies with green portion, seasoned with olive oil and seeds. Please note that you shouldn't have dinner later than 3-4 hours before bedtime. During the night, our body should have some rest instead of digesting the food. What are the intervals between meals? Any food has a bigger or smaller impact on enzyme and hormones production. First of all, we're interested in pancreas enzyme, insulin. It controls blood sugar level. Insulin is also responsible for fatty acid production and breakdown, so constantly increased insulin makes it hard to lose fat deposits. Besides, in the long run, constantly increased insulin leads to insulin resistance, obesity, metabolic syndrome, and type 2 diabetes. It's important to keep the right intervals between meals, when your glucose and insulin levels have time to decrease. Usually it happens after 3.5–4 hours after meal. If you always keep on snacking, or if you drink tea with sweets, buns, and fruits 1 or 2 hours after the meal, your insulin level doesn't have enough time to go back to normal. If it's hard for you to maintain proper time intervals, it means that you have carbohydrate metabolism disorder. Take a closer look at your diet and analyze for carbs overtake. Overall, you should feel well, even if a time interval between meals is 6 hours. The golden rule is that a time interval between breakfast and dinner is 12 hours. So if you have breakfast at 8 a.m., you have dinner not later than 8 p.m. There is another crucial rule for body recovery. You should go to bed not later than 11 p.m. If you don't follow this rule, then you won't change much just by altering your diet. Follow our channel for more healthy diet tips and easy-to-make at-home recipes. Bye!